What is white saviorism? What is the white man's burden? Who am I? Is my experience just another anecdote for your essay or your speech? This video may make you feel uncomfortable. If it does, good. Use that, feel it, and reflect on it. Become a better ally. I am Mitzi Jonelle Tan, a climate justice activist based in Manila, Philippines, and honestly, I am so tired of having to say the same thing over and over and over. And the thing is, what I'm about to say is nothing new. So many of us have already said it in the past, yet something still isn't sinking in. So let's review. What is white saviorism? When you look it up online, it is this false form of generosity. It maintains and embodies white supremacy. It frames the white outsider as the savior and the hero, and the people of color as too stupid, too downtrodden, too powerless to help ourselves. It's this modern day version of the white man's burden, a term coined in 1899 for a poem written to encourage the US colonization of the Philippines. We were portrayed as uncivilized savages that needed to be saved, that needed the enlightenment of the white man. And this, my friends, is the poor white man's heavy, heavy burden to carry. To be the savior of the Philippines, to be the savior of the people of color, to liberate us from barbarism and savagery. It may look different today, though. How does it look for a few of us, especially in the climate scene? As someone from the global south, or as we like to say, most affected peoples and areas, or MAPA, it can be so difficult to have your voice heard. What more, listened to and valued? More often than not, we are reduced to sad stories and statistics, an anecdote in a speech. And I'm already one of the ones more privileged to be able to speak in English and have access to the internet. Yet this still happens to me. Try to imagine how much more tokenized those who are culturally and economically marginalized, those who are most impacted by the climate crisis. That is not what I want people to think of when they think of me or my country. Yes, the Filipino people have experienced so much heartache and devastation from the climate crisis, but we are not a nation that is to be pitied. Our revolutionary spirit is strong and kicking, and if our white saviors really want to help us, you should amplify our voices and put a spotlight on how we fight back. We are not tools for your personal gratification. We are not tools to elicit emotion in your audience. Our experiences and our trauma are not places for you to learn life lessons about gratitude and the importance of giving back. To our white and privileged allies, do not say that you will be a voice for the voiceless when referring to us in the global south or MAPA. We have our own voice. Don't say you're fighting for us. Instead, silence the room, make space for us, stand united and fight with us. Do not lump us together and expect all of us to know the nuances and context of the trauma of each country, of each sector of society, of each person. We each have a voice. We each have our own unique story to tell and share, and people need to listen. And when we are using our voice, especially to call you out, after lifetimes of systemic injustice and oppression, it could get aggressive. And of course, it will hurt you to face your own privilege, to be told that you're feeding into the systemic oppressive structures of society. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that they're being mean, but suck it up. Listen, be quiet and reflect. Even if it is being said in an aggressive manner, look for the raw truth that is being told because it is there. The more difficult and nuanced the oppression, the harder it is to call it out, the harder it is to stand up for yourself, and it could get more aggressive. And oh my God, please do not patronize us. Do not call me feisty when I'm calling out your white supremacy. If you truly want to help us, join our campaigns. Remember that the reason we're so impacted by the climate crisis in the first place is because of the imperialist plunder of your country. So demand accountability, action, and change from your leaders. And in the end, we must all remember that we are all activists. white activists need to face their privilege and this discomfort to truly be in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and people of color activists. This isn't going to happen immediately. This will be a lifelong journey of constant learning. But we are not each other's enemy. The enemy is the system that ingrains these injustices in our culture. The enemy are the elite few that maintain this system because it keeps them in power. So we must all be willing to confront the different privileges we all have. Something we all need to learn how to swallow if we want to be better people, better activists, a better movement. So we can make sure that we are dismantling the systems of oppression and we are fighting for the liberation of every person, for a safe present, and for a green and just future for all of us. This is our task as activists. White activists and non-white activists. We all have to come together and face the facts of life. We all have to come together and face our own privileges and make sure that we are actively fighting against the systems of injustice and oppression that is being perpetuated every day by the fossil fuel industry, by the world leaders, by the people in power. It's a difficult task, but it's something that we can do. It's something that we have to do.